Please let me take you for a quick walk through my Assignment 1 assessment design. For context, this assessment sits within an online graduate certificate in Project Management Fundamentals. Students from varying backgrounds attend online from across Australia. It is expected they are all working or have worked previously in a professional job and are undertaking this course to improve themselves and their current or future job prospects. That sounds familiar. My assessment design forms the entire fourth and final 10-week unit in the graduate certificate. In the previous 3 units, they have covered all the principles, tools and best practice approaches to project management for small-scale projects. In this final unit, they are applying everything they have learned to a real-life project with real-life clients. The entire unit will be run within a mock project management firm, and they will be expected to behave like real COVID-era work-from-home employees, Ugg boots and all. From this point, I will be referring to the assessment design as a project, keeping in line with this authentic setting. The project is split into 3 phases. The first phase, plan, involves the students developing their project management plan. This phase is worth 50% and covers the first 4 weeks, with the project plan being submitted for assessment in week 4. The second phase, adjust, lasts just 1 week and provides the students with a chance to adjust their plan based on the feedback they receive before they have to turn on the pressure cooker and put things into action. The third and final phase, execute, covers the final 5 weeks of the unit and is worth the other 50%. This is where the students get a real taste of what it's like to be a project manager, putting their plan into action, overseeing everything and dealing with any issues that arise. At the end of this phase, they will hopefully have delivered a completed project item. Hopefully. For the purposes of my assignment, which was to design 50% of the assessment for the 10-week unit, I will be focusing on the plan phase. Finally, what is the actual project brief they are working on? Eat your heart out, Kevin. It's grand designs for cubby houses. I was inspired by the authentic task in Inder and Wittel and a similar project I observed during university. The clients are third-year architecture students who are also completing an authentic task, applying the theory they have learnt so far to design and construct a cubby house for a competition. To make the experience truly authentic, they are engaging a project management firm, our students, to manage the build. Phew, says Kevin. Now onto the nuts and bolts of my design. Firstly, I wish to address accessibility in recognition of the importance of considering from the start of the design process the principles of universal design, in particular those for distance education by Elias and the inclusive design arguments by Graham et al. In terms of equitable and flexible use, the entire project is online, and apart from the team and client meetings, the students can work when it suits them. The team leader would guide the students to ensure the time chosen for the meetings is accessible for all, perhaps suggesting alternating days to even out disruptions. There are also multiple avenues for students to communicate and contribute to the groups. I have endeavoured to make the student-facing documents simple and intuitive, only including necessary information and employing white space, colour highlights and the use of the visual table to relay key information. This will not only help remove barriers for students who may struggle with too much information, as highlighted by Graham et al., but it also helps to reduce the cognitive load for all students, an important consideration raised by Sorden. As a side note, I have made the first page generic, so it can be used for multiple project briefs, depending on what is available at the time the unit is running. Given this authentic assessment design also forms the basis of learning for the entire unit, I think it is important to go through the key elements of authentic learning from Harrington, Reeves and Oliver and show how I've addressed these in my design, as they are intrinsically linked. To save repetition and to stop me going mad, all quotes from this part are from Harrington, Reeves and Oliver, unless otherwise stated. Authentic context. To meet the principle that the content needs to be all-embracing to provide the purpose and motivation for learning and to provide a sustained and complex learning environment that can be explored at length, I have set up the entire project to run like a mock project management firm. So the students are doing tasks, using platforms and applying their knowledge exactly as they would in real life. It is hoped this context, plus a fun task, will motivate them. Authentic tasks. This element really resonated with me, as I'm a big fan of inquiry-based learning and the point that The course needs to provide ill-defined activities which have real-world relevance and which present a single complex task to be completed over a sustained period of time, rather than a series of shorter disconnected examples, has strong parallels. As such, I have set the task of project managing the build with key subtasks and milestones, but I haven't given any further instructions. Access to experts. In order to provide access to expert performances, I have included the team leader role, as well as a team mentor, who is a past student of the course. The past students are encouraged to participate as mentors for their own professional benefit and to receive a LinkedIn badge. Multiple roles and perspectives. In working with the architecture students, they are exposed to their perspectives of the task, their priorities, and approaches to solving the problem. Not only does this help them investigate the task from more than a single perspective, it helps them to develop crucial stakeholder engagement skills. Collaborative construction of knowledge. Beyond the fact that this task is collaborative by design, I have built in the team meetings, mentor, and group assessment as means to encourage collaboration rather than merely cooperation. Reflection. I worked with the definition of reflection as those intellectual and affective activities in which individuals engage to explore their experiences in order to lead to new understandings and appreciations, by Bowd, Key and Walker, quoted within Harrington. In this phase, students are provided with multiple opportunities for critical and self-reflection, in which they recount and re-evaluate their experiences and build new knowledge. Firstly, at each weekly meeting, they need to report on their progress using a template, which includes reflection on the process so far, challenges faced, and solutions found, etc. This involves both written and verbal reflection and gives the opportunity to compare themselves with other members of the group. The entire task involves collaborative decision-making and problem-solving. Project management is in itself an organic reflective practice. Articulation. The weekly meetings, as well as the collaborative team task and client meetings, also enable the students to articulate their learnings in a social context and to build their knowledge. They are given feedback on the articulation as part of the formative assessments. Coaching and scaffolding. As this is the students' first foray into a real-life project, outside of what they may do in their own jobs, it was important to ensure there was adequate coaching, scaffolding, and opportunities for constructive feedback available. Therefore, the mentor and team meetings were built into the task. These interactions can provide coaching to the whole group, as well as individual feedback and scaffolding to each student to ensure they are progressing through their zone of proximal development and gaining the skills and confidence to eventually work without guidance, as per Vygotsky's work and Greenfield's definition of scaffolding, cited in Harrington. Authentic assessment. When designing this project, what really stood out to me were the concepts of assessment as learning by Race, constructive alignment by Wiggins and McTee, the importance of formative feedback from Bowd, and the rich assessment tasks guideline from Clark, as cited in Harrington. As Race said, there is often a considerable gap between what we get learners to do in our assessment and what they will need to be good at throughout their careers. So I hoped to do this differently. The summative task for this phase, the project plan, is as authentic as it gets. This task is a group assessment rather than an individual assessment to provide incentive for the students to collaborate and to recognise the social context in which they have worked and learnt, and to recognise that one of the most important skills they develop is the ability to distribute wisely problem-solving tasks among members of a group, as argued by Young and cited in Harrington. This will be evidenced by the strength of their plan, how they assign tasks and responsibilities, and how they intend to mitigate any issues that may arise. The formative tasks, writing and presenting weekly reports, offer the opportunity for individuals to practice their communication skills, display their ability to work effectively in a team, and improve these from the feedback provided by both their peers and the team leader. In recognition of the effort required by students to produce these reports, and for incentive to complete them and attend the meetings, I have given them a weighting of 10%. These formative tasks are integral to the process of equipping the students with the abilities and confidence to go forward into the real world, as espoused by Bowd. In conclusion, as well as achieving the learning outcomes, the students should develop deep learning and understanding through application, collaboration, and social constructive construction of knowledge. Through working on social problems as they arrive, reflecting on what worked and didn't work, students should develop high-level problem-solving skills, increased metacognition of their learning and processes, and strong communication skills, as argued and evidenced by all the sources quoted in this video and reference list. Ultimately, they should also have some fun.